Chapter 10, Black Tommy, Sweet Daddy. On Thursday, September 6, 1984, the Los Angeles Sentinel staff writer Chico C. Norwood wrote an article titled Mystery Shrouds Alexander Murders. Lieutenant Ron Lewis of the Los Angeles Police Department said, "The people at the residence, from what we know right now, can be ruled out as being into drug trafficking. We don't have anything to indicate that there is any drug involvement at the residence at all. However," he added, "at this point, we cannot eliminate anything as far as a possible motive." With the aid of witnesses, LAPD artist Fernando Ponce was able to come up with a composite drawing of the two suspects. The first suspect is described as a black male between 20 and 25 years of age, 5'10", 190 pounds, dark complexion, with a muscular build and short hair. He was last seen wearing a dark blue t-shirt and dark blue pants. The second suspect is described as a black male with a light brown complexion, between the ages of 20 and 25, 5'9", weighing approximately 150 pounds. When last seen, the suspect's hair was braided and laid back in cornrows, and he was wearing a red and tan horizontal striped shirt and beige pants. The suspects fled the scene in a very clean 1975 or 1976 brown or light maroon van with a sliding door on the passenger side, 2 doors and 2 windows in the back, with brown or tan curtains and a chrome luggage rack on the roof. Police detectives say copies of the composite drawings will be circulated throughout California, posted in stores, etc. Lieutenant Lewis says the department is hoping to generate some information from the dissemination of the composite. The grisly murders occurred at approximately 8:15 a.m. on Friday, August 31st at the Alexander home on West 59th Street. The suspects reportedly entered the home through a rear door. Killed in the incident were 58-year-old Elbora Alexander, whose body was found in the kitchen, 24-year-old Deetra Alexander, whose body was found in an outside bedroom, Damani Garner, 12, and 8-year-old Damon Bonner. All 4 were shot in the head. "I don't have anything that would explain it," said Kermit Alexander, an All-American halfback at UCLA and a 10-year veteran of the NFL. Police are seeking the public's assistance in locating the killers. If you have any information concerning the slayings, call detectives Bob Grogan, John Rockwood, David Cruz, or Lieutenant Ron Lewis. The appeals to the public predictably summon the usual outpouring of cranks, false confessions, and false accusations, as well as the cheats and dead ends of the well-intentioned. In high-profile cases, the problem police most often encounter is not the lack of leads, but an overload of worthless information. In an effort to sift through the noise, several detectives worked up the case. They listened to all kinds of reports that didn't add up. Hearsay upon hearsay, as friends reported what friends of friends had heard on the streets. Someone I knew from school 10 years ago told me that a person from Southwest LA who used to work at a grocery store said that a girl who used to deal dope told me that someone who went by the name of Keith knew the shooter. Information suggested the murders were retaliation for the shooting of a Jamaican drug dealer. Other sources labeled the crimes cocaine killings in the Miami Vice School of senseless violence perpetrated by organized Cuban, Colombian, or domestic criminals based in Florida. A new drug gang known as Third World was also fingered for their involvement. Still, others said both killers were black men with long braids. Additional reports noted that the killers still lived in the neighborhood, but had shaved their heads and now wore hats. Names from the streets poured in as well, amorphous leads pointing to people known as Diamond, Black Tommy, Sweet Daddy, Tweety Bird, Eagle, Big Ant, and Scooby. Alerts were also phoned in warning the police that a ring of individuals who had committed the murders were holed up at the Coliseum Apartment Motel. Other calls suggested the murders were a drug hit gone wrong. The killers had meant to hit a crack house on East 59th Street, not West 59th Street. The killers had meant to hit someone named Chucky Mac on 59th Place. Still, others claimed the hit was retaliation for a killing that had taken place the night before. The van was not tan, it was black. The weapon used was not a rifle, but a shotgun. Not a shotgun, but a machine gun. Theories regarding me circulated as well. I was a cocaine dealer, it was claimed, and that this might have been retaliation against me, either because I owed thousands of dollars or because I was selling bad dope. Repeatedly, I had been seen at a house in Watts known for drug dealing. It was further claimed that I actually knew the killers, and that's why I had remained so calm after the murders. This information regarding me was followed up, but no evidence was ever uncovered. I explained that as an assistant coach for John Locke High School, I was counseling a troubled player involved with drugs, hence my visits to the house in Watts. As to a supposed relationship between me and the unknown killers, nothing materialized. Publicly, my former teammates supported me, refusing to believe that I had any involvement. I was just talking to John Haddle, quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams, once said, and the thing we remembered most about Kermit was how much he loved that family. He continued, God, he was dedicated to his family. He seemed to always be concerned for his sisters and his mother. While many within the LAPD continued to question whether I had any clues to the murders, a separate investigation of me was never opened. What about the ex-husband, others wondered. But my father, Kermit Sr., proved a dead end as well. He was driving home from the Pomona racetrack when he first heard about the killings on the radio. His alibi was strong. No evidence linked him. The relationship between my mother and father remained respectful after their separation, and Maddie often babysat my father's children through his second wife. What about some of those active serial killers, others asked? But they too were eliminated. The evidence was dissimilar. The MO, modus operandi, did not match. As most street crime is local, with the incidents often taking place within blocks of where the perpetrators live and hang out, detectives went door to door through the Florence neighborhood, interviewing my mother's friends and neighbors. When the killers' faces were revealed, would they be familiar? Again, focusing the investigation locally, in the week following the killing, detectives drove the streets of South Central looking for a brown, tan, and red van. As expended .30 caliber shell casings were found at the scene, detectives began looking into any .30 caliber weapons that had been used in the crime. The usual neighborhood channels, informants, and snitches were questioned and came up dry. With nearly a week past since the killings, the trail was growing cold. The longer a case remains unsolved, the less the chance that anyone is ever caught. Evidence is destroyed, witnesses disappear, memories fade. In America, less than 65% of all murder cases are solved. And in Los Angeles, this case marked the latest in a spate of open homicide investigations in what had been a particularly bloody late August. As a prominent case in which both Mayor Tom Bradley and Chief of Police Daryl Gates held press conferences, the pressure to break it was mounting. But for the detectives working the case, it wasn't just a matter of solving the crime to quiet the brass. The case genuinely haunted them. Homicide detectives must become desensitized, feel detachment from their victims. They must learn to view dead bodies as evidence and bloodied homes as crime scenes, still themselves to the points that they can literally laugh in the face of death. But the sleeping children shot in their heads made this case different. Over and over again, detectives reworked the crime scene, hoping that multiple sets of eyes would seize upon something that others had missed. Maybe that magical piece of previously undetected physical evidence would spring forth, or maybe another viewpoint would see something in the assailant's behavior that would reveal the motive. Detectives stared at the autopsy photos, passed them around, went blurry-eyed meditating upon the wounds. They retraced the bullet trajectories, focused upon the houses to the east and west, and re-examined the holes in the adjacent homes. They canvassed and recanvassed, door to door, block by block. Hadn't anybody seen anything? Did anybody know anything? Anybody who might, somehow, some way, have had it in for that family? But nothing shed new light. Nothing suggested anything other than what they already knew. That a seemingly innocent and beloved family, an anchor of the neighborhood, had been senselessly killed. Nothing they learned could make the physical evidence tell a complicated tale. It screamed only a maddeningly simple one. 4 innocent victims were executed inside their home.